Good morning, first grade. How is everyone feeling today? Hopefully good. There I go with my comedy routine. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a good day today. We are going to pick back up with the text feelings. And in today's lesson, we're going to focus quickly on two things. One, the essential meaning of this text. And then the second part will be taking a look at a story map that's going to help us prepare and plan for our narrative writing, which is our story writing. But we will get to that in just a moment. Really quickly, our one bite of pizza question: what is the essential meaning of feelings? And that's what we're going to take a closer look at today. So if you remember, in a lot of our past stories within our past modules, we've talked about both the main point or the main topic and the essential meaning. And those two things are a little bit different, right? The main topic tells us what the text or what a section of the text is mainly about. Feel the Wind was mainly about the wind, right? All of the sections told us more information about the wind. The essential meaning of a text, though, is taking it to the next step. It's not just what the book is about, but it's what we can learn from the book. It's what the author is trying to teach us or convey to us through the book. It's not always so clear what the essential meaning is. Sometimes you have to be like a reading detective and put together the topics that, the main topics, what you think the author's point is of each section to help you figure out the essential meaning. So that's what we're going to do today. And again, with this text, the main topic is telling about different feelings. But we want to go a little bit further and try to figure out what the author's trying to teach us and tell us and take away from this book that could help us and impact our lives in some way. All right. So if we take a look at the author's point chart that we worked on a little bit last week together, let's just look at the author's point from these different sections. And then from this, we're going to try to come up with an essential meaning. So on the crocus story, it says, feelings can be touched by something, or something can change your feelings. So that was really the point of that story. On page 7, the invitation to the party, feelings can be touched by someone, or someone can change your feelings. So same kind of idea, just something can change your feelings or someone can change your feelings. Your attention, please, on 28-29, we see that the girl was jealous and she wants attention too. On page 5, I have feelings. The main point was the author's point. Everyone has feelings, even though, we can't see, smell, or touch them ourselves. And how do you feel on page 31? That was where the girl was trying to guess what the boy's feeling was. That really tells us the main point. You can have many different feelings. So thinking about all of these authors' points, can we think of some ideas for what the essential meaning could be? So think about that for a second. Now, I've brainstormed some ideas, just some things that I was thinking about. The author's point all has to do with everyone having feelings. It also has to do with having different feelings. It shows people being happy and, kind of makes me think like they want everyone to be happy, that everyone should be happy. But I also see that it's okay to have different feelings. I see some of the author's points, tell me that feelings can change. And I also see that feelings can be affected or changed by someone or something. So kind of thinking about all of those things, can we come up with what we think could be an essential meaning? Okay, so what I'm thinking is, let's take a look at these two possible essential meanings. Feelings can change, everyone should be happy. Now, if you remember back when we read the fables, we had a few lessons where we talked about how there will often be a really strong essential meaning, something you come up with that you think would be a good, strong essential meaning. And then there are things that you come up with that maybe are not as strong of an essential meaning. And do you remember how we find whether or not an essential meaning is a good, strong meaning or not? Do you remember? Yeah, we look for evidence from the text to support our essential meaning. So that's what we're going to do with these two possible essential meanings. And I just want you to think about, which one do you think is a stronger essential meaning? Which one has more evidence to support it? So feelings can change. All right, so I went through and took a look at different pages and found examples of where the feelings changed in the story. So 8 to 9, this was the block tower, their feelings changed. Damien was with the paper airplane, his feelings changed. On page 15, when Whiskers died, they were sad at first and then started to, think about happy memories, and they felt better. On page 23, Elizabeth gets a call from her friend and is really excited. And on 27, Bob was the boy that gave the sundial as a gift, and at first was really embarrassed and thought it was a bad gift, regretted doing it. And then later on, when everybody really likes the sundial, he feels good about that. So this is a pretty good amount of evidence, but let's look at the other possible essential meaning. Everyone should be happy. So I'm looking for examples in the text of where people are happy. So on page 7, the boy's happy he gets an invitation. On page 6, the girl is happy it's spring. And on 26, 27, he's happy it's his birthday party. Do you think that this is as strong of an essential meaning as feelings can change? What do you think? Which one do you think is stronger? Number 1, feelings can change, or number 2, everyone should be happy? What do you think? Number 1, number 2, number 1, number 2, number 1? Yeah, if you settled on number 1, I would agree with you. There is all this specific evidence from the text to support feelings can change, where this essential meaning, they talk about people being happy, but just in a couple of situations, and it just doesn't seem to be the overall essential meaning. All right, so what I did was take the essential meaning of this text, feelings can change, and included the evidence that we found to support it. So you probably remember these essential meaning charts, the oval, that we've seen this before. All right, and again, this is something that we can take from this book and understand and know that, our feelings can change, right? That's what the author's trying to teach us. And that can help us, as we go through everyday life and think, if you're feeling sad at one point, or you're feeling maybe angry at one point, we can apply the essential meaning and understand that, that will change. We won't always feel that way. It won't always be like that. And that's okay. All right, so just as an example. All right, so keep an eye out for those essential meanings and support. But now we are going to shift to our other focus of today's lesson, and that is getting prepared for our narrative writing. So I'm excited about this. I know I've mentioned before, I love a good informative paragraph and looking up information and researching, but I think it's really fun when you can be creative and use your imagination to write your own narrative or your own story. Okay, so we've already practiced coming up with a problem. So today we're going to take it to the next step and come up with and brainstorm, plan all of the elements to our story. So in your Wit and Wisdom Windmill workbook, couldn't think of the word, workbook, you will see handout 11A, and it says Feelings Story Map. And what you're going to do is use this story map to help plan your story. Now, we're not writing this story today. We just want to get down the basic elements that you want to have in your own made up story. But we are going to base our story off of this page in feelings. So I'll make sure to include this in the seesaw activity so you can come back to it. There's also, you have access to a digital copy of the book if you need to look at that. But this is the page Lost and Found, and we see a character, right? We see something happened that is the problem, and then a resolution, and we see how this story is going. But you're going to, in your story, use this as kind of the starting point, and you're going to fill in the details of who is the character exactly, specifically. So naming the character. Where are they? Now, looking at this picture, it looks like they're somewhere where there would be a sale, but that could be a whole number of places. That could be at a store, that could be at a flea market, that could be in a mall, that could be at a farmer's market, that could be all sorts of different places. It could be, a made up, like there's a fair, a carnival, and, people are selling something. So you can be creative, and you can also be more specific about exactly where the story takes place. If you want to name a specific state or city, or, however you want to do that. Okay? Now, I do notice that they are wearing a hat and jacket and looks like boots and gloves, which tells me that it's probably winter time as far as the setting for the when. So you can, again, make it be, at a specific store, in a specific state, whatever you want it to be. And then you want to think about what's the problem. So we can see kind of what's going on here from the illustration, right? It looks like the person loses sight of their mom, right? And they're saying, "Mama," they can't find their mom. So we can add some more detail about that. What happens? Did this character wander off? Did they go and see a balloon that they wanted to go look at? Did the mom turn around for just a second and the little boy got shuffled along with the crowd and couldn't see his mom? So this is where you're going to use this as a starting point, but include some more detail to make it a more interesting story. And then also think about, what are the steps to solve the problem and how is the problem solved? So yes, the little boy or little girl found his mom, but you can include some detail in your story about, did someone help the child find his mom? Did they just happen to turn around and see each other? Did the mom find the boy? Did someone make an announcement? Right? Those are the details that you can add in your story map. So what you're going to do today, and then you'll take a picture of this and turn it in, is just start to think about, how do you want to write your story? Who is the character? Who are the characters going to be? So you can name the child in that picture, right? Actually, let's just put this right next to it. I'm gonna add this right next to so we can look at it at the same time. Okay, so your character, this is just, you're just writing, one word, 2 words. It's, the child, it's the parent, or mama, if you want that to be the mom. And what is the setting specifically? Where is this? Is it, a flea market? Is it at a fair? Is it at the mall? Is it the grocery store? Whatever you want the setting to be. Is it in Pittsburgh? Is it in Alaska? Wherever you would like the setting to be. So we write the characters' names, the place it takes place, and then what's the problem? Just give a little more detail of, why does the child get lost? What happens? And then the resolution. How is the problem solved? Yes, the child finds their parent, but what do you want to say? What do you want to have happen to allow that problem to be resolved. Did someone help them? Did they just run into each other? And so that's what I'd like you to put on here. These don't have to be, full complete sentences. This is just your pre-writing, your first step. And then tomorrow you'll take your story map, or next lesson, you'll take your story map and actually turn it into the actual story. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions. Again, this is you making up, using these pictures to guide you, making up characters, the setting, the problem, and the resolution, adding that detail to what we already see happening in the picture. Okay? And again, you don't have to write complete sentences. You're not actually writing the story right now. You're just getting your ideas down, and then we will work on the writing next time. Okay? All right, so I can't wait to see your stories and what you turn this illustration into, with a story, who your characters are, what the setting is, how the problem's solved, what the problem is, what made this happen in the first place. I'm really anxious to see your ideas, and let me know if you have any questions or you need any help, and I'll see you soon. Great job.